Good morning,
Good
Athina. Thank
morning.
you very much for being with us today on our podcast Etkisi Ne. It's a real pleasure to welcome you on this episode where we will focus on Médecins Sans Frontières, MSF, not only as a humanitarian organization, but also as a place where people from very different professional backgrounds can contribute and learn and build a career. Our audience in Turkey is very interested in international NGOs and humanitarian work, but many people are not always sure what MSF looks for and how the recruitment process works and what life in the field actually involves. So today with Athina Nadali, a recruiter and career manager at MSF, we will talk about working with MSF, the medical and non-medical opportunities available, the benefits and support provided to staff, and what candidates should know before applying. So welcome, Athina, to this show.
Thank you, Hussein. Thank you for having me, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to raise awareness about MSF within the country and explain all the background and all the conditions for someone to work with us. We are very happy that we are here. I'm very happy that I'm here with you.
Thank you. Thank you for being with us today. So, my first question, for listeners who may know the name, but not the organization in detail, how would you briefly describe MSF and its mission?
Briefly, all right. MSF, we are a humanitarian medical organization. We're an emergency medical organization. We were founded back in 1971 by a group of doctors and journalists, and I will explain why this combination. Since then, we have been doing emergency and medical interventions where there is need in our planet. So we are everywhere that you can find people caught up in conflicts, natural disasters, epidemics, pandemics, or where you can find populations that are being excluded by the medical system, or where there are huge gaps in the medical system. So as you understand, as a medical organization, this is our priority, to offer medical assistance. However, we do have the part of the speak out, of the témoignage, of the advocacy, which means that we speak publicly about the things that we witness in the places where we intervene. There is a reason behind it, is actually to be able to bring change in favor of the populations that we try to assist. Another thing that actually makes the difference between MSF and maybe other NGOs or INGOs are our values and principles. They are our compass of the way we work and our compass out there in the field. So we are impartial, meaning that we're impartial and neutral. This means that we take no sides in cases of a conflict, when we intervene in conflict zones, and we treat each patient with respect and equally, no matter of the things that might make us different as people, meaning the color of your skin, our gender, our political or religious beliefs, whatever it is that makes us different. We have the luxury to do that due to our independency. So this actually connects very much with the way that MSF are being founded. So we are being founded by private donations. We don't take funds from the European Union or other governmental actors or other actors of religious or political influence that will try to dictate us how we should work and where we should intervene. So we are, let's say, we have the ownership of our values and principles and of the way we work, and to decide where we are most needed and reach out to the people in need and the population.
Sef, we often think of doctors and nurses.
True.
Is that still the full picture, or is MSF looking for a wider range of profiles?
Of course, as a medical organization, and it's normal that it's the first thought that comes to their mind, and it's actually also true. We do need medical profiles. We do need doctors and nurses, doctors of several kinds, pediatricians, general doctors, emergency doctors. We need gynecologists, anesthetics, surgeons, and these are only some of the of
Mm-hmm.
the, let's say, specialties. We need nurses, we need midwives, we need clinical psychologists. However, we do have a huge range of other professional profiles that are very much needed in the field in order to be able for the actual medical assistant to reach to the population. So we do need professionals of HR and finance background. We need electricity manager. We need water and sanitation specialists. We need logisticians. We need people that will handle the supply. And these, again, are only the positions, imagine, that are meant for people that will apply and work with MSF as mobile staff, meaning that they will have to leave their own country and go to work in one of our international projects and interventions. These colleagues actually work together with also a local team of colleagues, and there you can find another range of professions, but this is for the people within the community that we work in. So you may find all the above, depending on where the intervention will be. You may also find drivers from the local community, cooks, and other kind of professions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So to follow up on that, what are, I mean, I anticipate you would say, of course, the medical stuff first, but what are the most commonly recruited for your international assignments? And are there any profiles that are particularly difficult for you to find at the moment?
Well, yes, it's not so much in terms of profiles that has to do with professional experience, because especially in Turkey, we are very lucky that we can find a range of professionals, mostly non-medical ones that show interest in working with MSF. We are also very lucky to find in Turkey people that already have humanitarian experience with local NGOs or other NGOs. We can find human resources professionals. We can find logisticians. One thing that I would like to point out and to urge people that might have these, let's say, skills that we are so much in need is besides the English language, which is mandatory for someone to join MSF, we are very much also in need for French speakers or people that can speak maybe Spanish, Portuguese, or Arabic. Because many of our interventions, especially the last 1-2 years, are in French-speaking contexts. We are in need of, and this is something to find very rare in MSF, of project coordinators. It's not easy to find external, meaning without MSF experience, project coordinators. But I would like to bring it up because since in Turkey you do have all these human resources that I just mentioned with this experience, it's very important for us because for us the project coordinator is responsible for, first of all, for the security of all the colleagues and for the projects and for the patients. We do need international exposure, so people maybe have seen different contexts outside of their country, negotiation skills, managerial skills, capacity to build relationships. So this is another very interesting profile and very important in MSF.
Thank you. So moving on to working at MSF, what does working with MSF actually look like in practice, especially for someone going on their first field assignment?
Okay, yes, someone working, going on a first field assignment. Something that people should know is that for the field assignment, for almost every profile, medical, paramedical, or non-medical, you should expect a minimum of 6 months assignment. Normally, it might be even more for non-medical profiles like HR or logistics. There is an exception there to a specific group of medical profiles, meaning the surgeon, the anesthesiologist, and the gynecologist who can take up even first missions, first assignments, up to 3 months. So one thing people should know is that they will be away from their house and from their family and friends for a respectful amount of time. Another thing that people should expect is that they should know that they should be able to work within multiple and multicultural teams. So when one joins MSF, you will be joining your colleagues that might come from many different parts of the world. Plus, you will be joining the team of the local colleagues wherever this is. This is something that I personally find fascinating. I think it's an opportunity that most of us might not have when we stay and work within the place, the town, the country we were born. You should expect to be able to handle the co-living besides the co-working. So sometimes, depending on the context and where we intervene and on the security rules, you might be able to have a normal social life afterward, work around a little bit, maybe have a curfew that it's late at night, maybe you can go out, take a walk, go to the local market, go to a restaurant, or you might be actually restrained in your compound if the security rules are very, very strict, and this depends on the context. So you might have to work and live within the walls of the compound with the rest of your colleagues. So this is something that one should consider, and then you realize how important is the bonding with the team and the teamwork. The stress management and the flexibility. We do intervene in difficult situations. Only the fact that you might get out of your normal life, and I don't very much like to use this word, but it's true, the comfort zone, meaning the thing that we are all used to live within. It can be stressful enough for many people. If you add to that the conditions to where we intervene, the things that one might see, you might realize how fortunate you are within your country and your town. And then when you have sometimes to face and see with your own eyes the situation that other people might have to live and how difficult it might be for them to reach out to the medical assistance, or how the conflict affects their lives again and again, this might be stressful enough. Flexibility, meaning that in the field things can and actually will change, sometimes more than one time. Your colleagues will change, the team you are collaborating with, the international staff, will certainly change while you are on mission. The situation might change. You might you might going in a, for example, a malnutrition project and end up having to respond to a cholera outbreak. So these are things that we ask people to take into consideration. Through the years, MSF has tried to do their best to improve the living conditions. We also have a very specific video that we share during our presentations for raise awareness and for recruitment purposes that I would be very happy to share with you afterwards. That actually shows very much, wraps up all the challenges that one can face. Sometimes people ask me, do you actually want us to apply, or you're trying to scare us away? No, we're not trying to scare away people. We just try to be honest, because it's a life choice. It's a difficult life choice. It's a leap that one will have to take. And we think it's very, very important to consider all the aspects and all the challenges, and to be sure that one is ready to take the step.
MSF is working usually in conflict regions, and we're working in epidemics, and it's definitely, it may be out of people's comfort zones. Maybe there is a little bit of sacrifice from the social life, but this also gives a lot more perspective in life to people who work there. And it's complex and demanding environments as far as I follow where MSF is working. To follow up on that, what does field readiness mean from an HR perspective for you? Like when you want the person who you would like to employ to be ready for the field, how do you assess that field readiness, that this person is maybe to add on to that, how do you assess their adaptability, teamwork and resilience during their recruitment? Because that seems to be very important. Three things from your answer: adaptability, teamwork and resilience. How do you assess these during recruitment?
It is indeed very important, and it comes back also to our, let's say, culture and mentality that we have, at least here in MSF Greece, that we want to make this recruitment process actually a two-way selection. We don't see it only as us, the recruiters, trying to assess the candidates. We want also the candidate to assess us and MSF and decide that this is the right choice. So we try to share as much information as we have. We try to put people in, we call them hypothetical case scenarios, but they're actually inspired from stories and from true facts from the field. We try to see the mindset behind it. We try to see if this person is getting stressed by the example that is presented to them. We try to see their input in some case scenarios. We give them the space to feel comfortable and open up. It's really more important for us. It's the mindset. One cannot be 100% sure that is ready not only to join MSF, but let's be honest, for anything that life might bring us. So the thing is to try to build this awareness, to build this conscience, to start to do a self-assessment, a self-reflection. This is a very important part during our recruitment process. The self-reflection and the self-assessment, and to trust the other person, the recruiter, and to open up. If there's something that it stresses people, it's good to put it on the table and try to give them the more information that we can. So these are more or less our techniques of assessing people. And I think that is I want to repeat that because it's really, we also want to be selected by the candidates. We don't see it as a one-way process. It cannot be for me, if you ask me, in every work, in every field, it should be like this, but especially in this one, no, it cannot be in one-way process. It has to be a two-way selection.
I see. My next question is, Athina, what are the most common misconceptions about working with MSF?
That's a very nice one. The first one that we have been hearing through the years again and again and again is that working for MSF is a voluntary job, that it's being done in voluntary basis. It's not like this. It cannot work like this when you do want to deliver medical assistance to so many people around the world. So we are actually very, very structured. People that join MSF, and this is why we have this very strict recruitment process, and this is why we have so many in general processes and procedures in MSF. People that are applying to MSF, if everything goes well and they leave on their first mission, they are getting, of course, a compensation. It's a paid job. It's a career path in the humanitarian section. We ask too much from everybody. We ask time, we ask expertise, we ask linguistic skills, we ask numerous soft skills and competencies, and we want people to be able to commit to deliver this aid. So there is salary, there is a compensation for the period that the assignment lasts. Let's say that somebody takes a 9-month assignment, so then you are under contract with MSF for 9 months, and then it stops. And what does it mean? It means that it stops until the person actually assumes their next assignment. There are people based in the office that follow up the colleagues that are departing for the field, for the mobile staff, meaning that the career path is being followed. There are ways that one can evolve, can have a career development within MSF, and whatever this means, it means more trainings, it means higher level positions, and of course it means higher salaries. So everything is being monitored, and we try to be a responsible employer when it comes to this. Of course, everything that has to do with the transportation of the people to and from the country and the project where they will be working is being taken care by MSF and by colleagues that take care of the flight tickets and everything. The accommodation is also provided. We share the accommodation. We live, let's say, in houses where MSF try to improve the living conditions, try to give as much privacy as possible. Maybe you will have one will have their own room, but we will share bathrooms, kitchen, common living rooms. What else can I say? There is health and life insurance for people that are departing to the field. And as I said before, there is a career development, and there is a big range of trainings, internal or even external, that MSF can support people within their career path with us.
Okay, excellent. You answered one of my questions in a way. It's very important though, because it could be understood that people are sent to missions, and then when the mission is over, you say goodbye. But as I understand, it's not only a short-term field experience. Once you go in, it can become a long-term career path for the person, right?
Indeed. And this is actually what we want for MSF. We don't want people that will come to do a one-off assignment with us. We even initiate the recruitment process, and we ask from the people to give us 1 year of commitment, meaning that maybe their first mission will not be 1 year consecutive, but maybe they will undertake like 2 missions, give us a second chance. We want to build on our staff, on our human resources. We want to retain our people. It's like we want this again. We want this two-way collaboration, like we do in the recruitment process, that we want the two-way selection. This is how we want to continue. We want the two-way collaboration. So we do want to have people that will live again and again and again on assignment with MSF. We value very much that they bring the knowledge and the institutional knowledge and the knowledge of how MSF works. And we do want them to feel motivated, not only in terms of the satisfaction that and the feeling of fulfillment that one might get for working in the humanitarian sector, because of course you offer back to this planet and to the communities that we share this world, but also in terms of career and development. So yes.
So are there any idle periods between like assignments? So what do they do? What do people,
So normally people, they rest. And again, the break in between assignments, it's again a two-way collaboration. So what happens when somebody returns from the field? As besides of having a recruiter appointed when you enter MSF, you also have a career manager appointed when you are already in MSF, and it's the person that you're collaborating with and discussing about your future steps and what went well, what went wrong, and how we will move forward. Our job is to be able to support the projects, to fill the operational needs in terms of human resources, but also to support the people that are working with us. So we initiate a discussion, and then normally people tell us how much do they estimate that they need to take a break in between missions to rest. And we try to make the best to combine this availability with the operational needs. So we have people that might need 6 months to rest after a mission. Depends also how many years one has been working with MSF. You have people that only need 1 or 2 months, and they're good to go back to the field. So during this period, yes, as I said, the contract stops. So people are not getting paid by MSF. And then it depends on what they do with that, also with the legislation when it comes to the labor law within the country, and the compensation that some countries might offer some compensation for some people depending on the laws on their break, some others not. But anyhow, when you work with MSF and when you are in the field, first of all, due to the fact that even when you are able to have like a kind of social life, it still is not the same as being in your own house and in your own town. So you can see that most of your salary actually stays untouched, and unless you have to pay some specific obligations that you have back home. So this is something that helps in between the breaks.
Okay. How important are previous field experiences and language skills for you when you recruit someone? And maybe to follow up on Turkish audience, for candidates based in Turkey, which languages and professional experiences could make an application stronger?
Besides the English language, that it's very, very important. The second one that opens a lot of doors, and we are very much in need, is the French language. So we do encourage people that have a minimum level of B2 to apply, even if they have like lower levels and they want to maybe one day join MSF, or even now maybe they can invest on improving themselves in the French language. After that, it's Spanish and Portuguese, and last one is Arabic, in terms that we don't yet have exclusively Arabic speaking missions. So normally English is also there, but it is indeed an asset. We do of course prioritize, and it's important for us, people that might already be coming from, if not the humanitarian, at least the NGO or the INGO sector, because they might understand a little bit the mentality behind, or they might be exposed to similar contexts or situations that you may find in MSF. But it doesn't mean that to exclude anybody. We have people working with us coming from the private sector, and of course, when it comes also to medical profiles, it changes a lot, because you see people with experience in public hospitals or even private clinics. So it's a little bit different. The soft skills are very, very important. And it also goes back to the self-reflection that I was talking before. So it's important for people to gather as much information as they can before deciding to apply. Of course, this is why we're also here. We are going to provide more and more information for them. One thing that, to be 100% clear about that, is that we do have a limited capacity of how many people we can recruit per year and in general. This means that our job is to recruit people in order to be able to cover the operational needs in terms of human resources in our projects. So MSF, the way that we are structured, we have specific positions in the field that normally are meant to be for, as we call them, first missions. People that will leave for a first mission with MSF. There is a reason behind it. Normally, these kind of positions are in more stable and regular projects where people will be able to be integrated more smoothly. We try to avoid to send somebody for a first mission in, let's say, a high-speed changing context, an emergency, because it might be a little bit chaotic. So one thing is that. The second thing is that MSF is all around the world. Thus, we are recruiting people from everywhere. So there is this kind also of competition when it comes to, especially to linguistic skills. So we do have a limited capacity, but we try to do our best again to combine the aspirations of the candidates with the operational needs that we have.
Thank you. So
Thank you.
French is also important. Yeah, I know MSF is in a lot of French-speaking countries, and
Yeah, indeed.
and for you, it's also important to be accepted by the people and to connect with them.
Yeah.
Very important.
It's also part of the collaboration with the local colleagues.
Yeah,
So when you are, for example, in DRC
true.
and the local team speaks French, then it's kind of impossible to be able to do your job or integrate or respond to the needs if you cannot speak the language.
True. Athina, can you walk us through the recruitment process from the application to the potential assignment? What are the stages? Of course. How long does it take usually this process, and what stages should candidates expect until, if they recruited, get their first assignment?
Thank you. Also, I realized that we've been talking all this time, and I have this strange Greek name, and I say that I'm here from MSF Greece. Why am I here talking
Yeah.
from MSF Greece? So MSF Greece, as part of MSF's, let's say, internal decisions, we are the responsible recruitment section for people that live in besides Greece, Balkans, Cyprus, and Turkey. It has to do with where a person lives, has their permanent residence for the moment, for the time being, and not from where one comes from. So you can also see a diversity in our pool and our human resources. It's not like we only have Turkish or Greeks or Cypriotic nationalities. We have a range of different nationalities, but it's the residence that matters to be recruited by us. First step is to apply via our website. It's www.msf from the initial letters of Médecins Sans Frontières .gr, where people also can find all the information that we have been talking about, what means to be on a mission, what are the conditions, what are the requirements of every professional profile. So this is the first step to submit the online application. After that, normally a recruiter contacts the candidate. We don't have the capacity also to contact every candidate. So we say it's very specific that only shortlisted candidates that fulfill the minimum requirements, and even more sometimes because we are always subject to our operational needs at the moment. So you get the candidate will be contacted, and then the recruitment process slowly starts. They should expect a long process. The technical validation according to the profile comes first. And if we get the green light by our colleagues' technical reference of that, either their medical profiles or other kind of profiles, then we can proceed to the rest of the process. And this also comes the part that I was discussing before, the self-reflection, the presentation from our part, as much as we can of what to expect to find in the field, and the two-way selection. So we test the people online with language tests, or sometimes even live during the interview, for sure for the English language, because the process is in English. Sometimes we might also use have a conversation in French or Spanish, it depends. Then we offer people some documents that we would like them to have their input. It's case scenarios and it's some self-reflection. Some HR interviews follow, and another part where we present people with cases from the field. We are doing a background check, meaning that we are going to ask for references. Once we get the technical validation, actually the process is subject also to both parties, and especially to the candidate, because the biggest part of the work needs to be made by the candidate. They need to fill all these online tests, and they need to be able to access the documents and the case studies. So it might take the most that I've seen. It's like up to 5-6 months. This is not the good scenario, but we have seen processes, according also to the operational needs, finishing in weeks or up to 1 month. After that, what actually happens in MSF is that when you apply for the international missions, you don't apply to a specific vacancy. You apply to enter a pool of professionals. So let's say that I am Athina and I'm applying for MSF for the international missions to join us in HR as a recruiter for the field. So once I'm validated technically and for the rest of the HR process and the background check is made, I belong to the pool of the people that can join the field as a recruiter in the international missions. Then, along with the career manager, comes the searching, let's say, of a first mission. So this might take from a few weeks again to a few months. It depends on the gaps at the moment, meaning the second mission is, like we said before, again, one comes back from the field, gives their aspiration or their ideal availability and the time they need to rest, and we try to combine.
And okay, I see.
Normally, yes,
Good.
people also receive. We have our own online platform where people can access a lot of information and online trainings, especially before joining a first mission. There is a welcome to MSL for preparation pre-departure training that we are also, most of the times, is online. So we try to send the people out there as much prepared as possible.
My next question is, what would make an application stand out among probably thousands of other applications? And more importantly, what are the common mistakes you see the most from candidates when applying to MSF?
So yeah, for the application, as people have to submit it online, first of all, our system takes you to a form. So as a first step, it's very important that people fill in that form as correct as possible, because it's our first, let's say, screening lamps to see if they have at least the minimum requirements. We ask them to upload their CV and cover letter, but due also to the fact that we receive sometimes a big amount of application, it's very important that people take the time to fill in the application correctly. Second thing that I say for every candidate is like, be honest on what you present in your CV, and be honest in your motivation letter. So let's go first to the CV. What would stand out for us would be to have a not very long one that we can easily access with clear dates, clear position, and clear responsibilities of the job, and of course the linguistic skills. What would stand out specifically for MSF would be the linguistic skills and the humanitarian NGO or INGO experience. Another thing that it's very important, and I see that as a recruiter is important, is for us, because sometimes people tend to skip it or think that it's something that it's just there to make me work a little bit harder on my application. No, it's not like that. It's a motivation letter. Especially for us, for MSF, we want to see in the motivation letter that people actually know where they are applying to. We can see when the motivation letters are the same, either you apply for the humanitarian sector or you apply for a corporate position, and it's not the same. It's not the same because of the nature of the work. It's not the same of what you are asked to sacrifice to join MSF. Your personal life, your social life, you're being away from home, and why you want to do that. So we want to see the motivation there, and we want to see that people actually know at least a few things about MSF. So this, I would say, that are in this step of applying online, the things that one should keep in mind.
Excellent. Well, Athina, thank you very much for this conversation.
Thank you.
I think it has helped make MSF more understandable and perhaps a little more accessible to people in Turkey who are interested in humanitarian work but may not know where to start, especially on MSF. We talked about MSF's mission, the profiles you recruit, what fieldwork really means, and how candidates can prepare themselves more realistically. And I hope this conversation will encourage our listeners to look at MSF opportunities with a clearer mind, and of course to follow official MSF recruitment channels for current vacancies and guidance. Thank you for being with us today, and I very much appreciate it.
Thank you for hosting me. And I hope, yes, people get to at least look around a little bit more for MSF, do a little bit of research in our website. You can find us also in LinkedIn and other meta applications, Instagram. So we will be happy to see and receive some applications. And thank you so much for all your support. Your time. You have been helping us a lot with our visibility in the country the past few months. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much.